Welcome to Maths with Paru. Today, the question will be from the January 2022 paper 2, and it's question 2. Let's begin. All right. We begin with differentiation. The question requires us to differentiate the given expression here. So let's start with the first term, 27x to the power half. Now we all know that when we differentiate 27x to the power half, we bring down the power, which is half, and multiply it by 27. So we have 27 over 2. Then what we do is we reduce the power of x. X is x to the power half. If you reduce half by 1, you get minus half. So that part becomes 27 over 2 x to the power minus half. The next thing that we're going to do is to differentiate the second term, which is minus x to the power 3 over 2. When we differentiate that, we bring down the power of 3 over 2 and multiply it by minus, so we get minus 3 over 2. Then we reduce the power of 3 over 2 by 1. So 3 over 2 minus 1 is half, and we end up with x to the power half. Now, everyone knows that when you differentiate a constant, you get 0. So that is the end of us differentiating d by y. That's the answer for part A. Now let's move on to part B. In part B, they ask us to find the stationary point of C. Now, what does stationary point mean? Stationary point means that we have to equate dy by dx to 0. So that's the first thing that we write. dy by dx is equal to 0. Now, I have already differentiated dy by dx. In part A, I have the answer. So I simply equate the answer to part A and I equate to 0. But when I do that, I'm just going to rewrite things in a different way. So for example, x to the power minus half, I rewrite as root of x, 1 over root x. And x to the power half, I rewrite as just root of x. Now when that happens, we're going to simplify it as much as we can. We can divide both of them. Since there's a 2 there, I'm going to just cancel off the 2's. So I end up with 27 over root x equals 3 root x. Now I can also divide 27 by 3. So I'll end up with what? 9. So if I write down what I get there, I'm going to get 9 is equal to root x into root x. Now what is root x into root x? Root x into root x is simply x. And that's why we end up with x is equal to 9. And if x is equal to 9, we're then going to substitute the value of 9 in this expression, the original y. If we substitute the value of 9 in the original expression, so x is equal to 9 means that we will get y is equal to 34. So that gives us our answer for the second part, part B of this question, which is we have the coordinates of the stationary point are going to be 9, 34. Now that completes part A and B. Let's move on to part C. In part C, they say find, in part C, they're asking us to find d2y by dx squared. So here we have to find d2y by dx squared, and they say, and hence determine the nature of the stationary point. So d2y by dx squared is simply differentiating dy by dx again. Now we already have dy by dx, don't forget, this is dy by dx, so we're going to differentiate that. Now 27 over 2 x to the power minus half. If I differentiate that, I simply multiply 27 over 2 by minus half, which will give me minus 27 over 4. Then if I reduce x to the minus half by 1, it will be minus half minus 1, which is minus 3 over 2. So that differentiates the first part of my expression for dy by dx. Then I go on to differentiating minus 3 over 2x to the power half. We simply bring the power half down. So minus 3 over 2 into half is going to give me minus 3 over 4. And then we reduce the power of x by 1. Half minus 1 is minus half. So I get x to the power minus half. Now I'm going to substitute because they say hence determine the nature of the stationary points. So I'm going to substitute x equals 9 in the above expression for dy by dx. When I do that, I will end up with minus 27 over 4. And I am going to rewrite this. I'm going to rewrite the x to the power minus 3 over 2 as 9 to the power minus 3 over 2. So what is 9 to the power minus 3 over 2? If I rewrite that for you here, 9 to the power minus 3 over 2 is simply equal to 1 over 9 to the power 3 over 2. What's 9 to the power 3 over 2? 9 to the power 3 over 2 can be written as root of 9 cubed, because half is just the square root of 9, and root of 9 cubed. Now what is root of 9 cubed? Root of 9 is 3. 3 cubed is equal to 27. So if I rewrite this, it will be 1 over 3 cubed. But what is 3 cubed? 3 cubed is simply 27. And that's how we end up with x to the power minus 3 over 2 is the same as 1 over 3 cubed, which is 27. So that is our first part of the expression. Now let's go to the second part of the expression, where we have minus 3 over 4 and we have x to the power minus half. Now what is x to the power minus half? That is 9 to the power minus half. Let's put it in another color so it's not too confusing. X to the power minus half is the same as saying 1 over 9 to the power half. Now 9 to the power half, we all know, is just the square root of 9. And what is the square root of 9? It is 3. So we end up with this becoming x to the power minus half becomes just 3 at the bottom. Now that I have that, I'm going to now start simplifying as much as I can. If you do see here, you can, there's a 27 and 27 that can be cancelled. There's a 3 and a 3 that can be cancelled. And that's going to end up with minus 1 over 4 minus 1 over 4. Now, what's minus 1 over 4 minus 1 over 4? It will give us minus 1 over 2. We know the theory that if the second differentiation is negative, because minus half is negative, we will end up with a maximum. I hope you understood my explanation. If you want any more clarification, please contact me and I'll be more than happy to do so. Thank you for watching. Until my next video, goodbye for now.